What happens when you have to choose between two completely different but equally innocent group of victims? Today, we're looking at a fascinating story about $71 million in stolen cryptocurrency. It's a legal battle that pits the victims of a modern, high-tech hack against families still suffering from a terrorist attack that happened 50 years ago. A US court now has to make a choice that seems almost impossible. And by the end of this, I'm going to ask you to make that choice too. In April 2026, the world of decentralized finance was hit with one of the biggest hacks of the year. An attacker found a weak spot in the Kelp DAO protocol. They essentially tricked the code into minting over 116,000 digital tokens that weren't backed by anything. The total damage was a shocking $292 million, wiping out the funds of thousands of regular users and putting several major crypto lending platforms at risk of collapse. The whole thing was a surgical digital heist that created a massive financial black hole, sending tremors through the crypto world. Investigators, including the blockchain security firm Layer Zero, were quick to identify the likely culprit, the notorious Lazarus Group, a cybercrime syndicate believed to be sponsored by the state of North Korea. In the chaos that followed, something pretty remarkable happened. A group of crypto protocols, including Aave and Kelp DAO, teamed up with the Arbitrum Network's Security Council to chase down the stolen money. They pull off an emergency action, managing to corner and freeze a chunk of the hackers' fund, about 30,765 Ether, which was worth around $71 million at the time of this script. A plan was quickly put together. The Arbitrum community would hold a decentralized vote to approve returning this $71 million to a recovery fund. This fund was set up to help the victims of the hack get their money back. The vote passed with nearly unanimous 99% vote support. For a minute, it looks like a rare, clear victory for the good guys. But that's when the real fight actually started. On May 1st, 2026, a lawyer named Charles Garstein dropped a bombshell in Arbitrum's public governance forum. It wasn't just a comment. It was a legally binding restraining order from the US District Court of the Southern District of New York. The notice ordered Arbitrum to halt any plans to return the $71 million to the hack victims. Instead, Gerstein was taking a claim to the entire amount for a totally different group of victims. Families who hold over $877 million in unpaid court judgment against North Korea for its history of state-sponsored terrorism. All of a sudden, the recovered money became the price in a legal war between two legitimate but very different groups of victims. On one hand, you have Gerstein clients who have been waiting for justice for decades. Their legal claims came from horrific acts of terror linked to North Korea, including the 1972 Lod Airport massacre, the abduction and murder of Reverend Kim Dong-sik, and rocket attacks carried out by Hezbollah with North Korean backing. US courts awarded this family huge judgment. But actually collecting money from a hermit kingdom like North Korea is next to impossible. Gerstein's legal argument is a world first. He claims that since the US government says the Lazarus Group is part of North Korea, any crypto they steal is technically the property of North Korean state. And under US law, the property of state sponsored of terrorism can be seized to pay off judgment owed to terror victims. But the crypto community immediately pushed back. A delegate in Arbitrum's governance forum, known as Zeptimus, posted a sharp rebuttal that quickly went viral. The argument is simple. Stolen property doesn't legally belong to the person who stole it. The $71 million was never North Korean money to begin with. It was always belonged to the thousands of users who got hacked. Zeptimus argued that giving the funds to the terror victims would be like forcing one group of victims to pay the debts of North Korea. It doesn't fix the original crime, it just creates a whole new set of victims. And I would say I kind of agree with Zeptimus here. This case is about so much more than just the $71 million. It represents a head-on collision between the Codex law philosophy of decentralized finance and the very real established power of the US court system. It also raises a huge legal question. Do decentralized autonomous organizations or DAOs have to follow US court orders? If the terrorist victim wins this case, it will set a powerful precedent. Every single dollar stolen by North Korean hackers in the future could potentially be claimed by these families. It would give them a new way to collect on their decade-old judgment. But it might also mean that the victims of future crypto hacks will never see their money returned. Why would anyone bother recovering stolen funds if they know those funds will just be seized for a different purpose anyways and not be returned back to the crypto market? This is a brutal choice with no easy answer. And now I want to hear what you think. Down in the comments, let me know who you believe has stronger claim to the $71 million. Is it the crypto users who just had their savings stolen and are trying to get them back? Or is it the families of terrorism victims who have been waiting half a century for some form of justice? There's really no perfect solution here. So tell me what your verdict would be. The fate of the $71 million now sits in the hands of the US court system. The Arbitrum DAO is stuck in the middle. If they release the funds to the hack victims, they could be in contempt of court. But if they don't, they're betraying their own community. This case forces us to weigh two undeniably injustices against each other. It's a battle between compensating for a recent tangible financial crime and delivering justice for historical atrocities that are no less painful. Whichever way the court rules, the decision is guaranteed to send ripples far beyond this one case, and it will help define how we think about ownership, justice, and victimhood for years to come. Stay safe, guys. Stay curious, and I'll see you guys next time.